we are back on another episode of the Doug Saravo Show. Last night I went to another Devils game, and this time we played the Washington Capitals, and as always, we fell to the Washington Capitals. So what else is new in New Jersey when we play Washington? It was a 4-1 game, and the Capitals had a 2-0 lead early. Then they made it 3-0. Then we scored a quick goal into the third period. And then I think it was Yanni Kokkonen. And we fell 4-1. So nothing has changed against Washington. It's the same nonsense. Scott Wedgwood looked decent. And we're going to have more later on tonight as myself and James go over last night's game. But other than that, we got to find a way to beat Washington. Boy, it's the same thing year in and year out. Nothing has changed in New Jersey when it comes to the Washington Capitals. It's the same story, year in, year out. And I think it's just a matchup problem. It's a system problem. Because no matter what we do, we always fall to the Washington Capitals. So, let's now send it to the studio, the Saravo Broadcasting Studio, where myself and James Saravo is ready to talk about the Washington Capitals and the New Jersey Devils. Doug, take it away. All right, thanks, Doug. We're coming to you live from the Saravo Broadcasting Studio. Alongside me, we have lifelong Capitals fan James Saravo. James, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. I'm sure you're doing well after the Capitals defeated the Devils once again.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not surprised they won last night.
So I was at that game, and once the Capitals scored that first goal, all the fans, went quiet. It was like, here we go again. Why do the Capitals have such a huge advantage over my team, the New Jersey Devils?
I don't know. They're like 35-5 in their past 40 games. I guess it's just they just feel good playing there. Like I feel good playing in certain places, and you just have. I guess they have just confidence against the Devils. The Caps have a lot of experience. They've had the same core for like the past 5 years, so they're gonna bring. They have a lot more experience than the New Jersey Devils too. Who there's no one. Travis Zajac is gone. There's no one else left from like the 2012 team, where from the Caps you still have like Ovechkin and Backstrom, who are still from the same core.
Is it the matchup? Is it the system in place? The style of play?
Yeah, it's definitely the system, basically, and the style of play. The Caps the Devils aren't able to really keep up with the Devils. The Devils can't keep up with the Caps. I feel like the Caps their system in place to get pucks the speed and puck movement and control. The Caps definitely have a lot of control over the puck, where you could see where the Devils are just like chasing the puck most of the game and can't get as many chances as the Caps.
I thought the Devils looked sloppy from the beginning. Where would you say the disadvantage was? Was it maybe not having Jack Hughes in the lineup, or just the style of play between both teams?
Well, definitely not having Jack Hughes wasn't a factor, because you look at the Caps, they didn't have Nicholas Backstrom, so it basically canceled each other out right there. So it's definitely, you have a young Devils team, a new group. Yet for the Caps, you have a very great core with Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, and Oshie that have been together playing for like 5 years now. So they know what to do. They have a lot of experience compared to the younger Devils.
I think now Vitek Vanacek is now 4-0, I assume, against the Devils. I saw a stat pop up on my phone. How important is it for him to be a solid goaltender for the Washington Capitals this year if they want to go on a far push to win another Stanley Cup and hoist it for a second time in his career?
It's extremely important. If you want to win the Stanley Cup, you need very strong goaltending. He is a solid goaltender. He doesn't excite me as much, but this he was one of the top goalie rookies last season, so he's carrying the momentum into this season, and the future looks bright for him. And we also have Samsonov, who will be there to take off the load, take the pressure off him, because since Vanacek won't be playing as many games, it's good to have that other good goalie back there.
How important is it for the core to play well together in regards to Tom Wilson, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie, and Alex Ovechkin? You could also add in John Carlson, Michael Kempney.
Well, they've been doing, like I said before, they've been doing it for years. They have a lots of experience from the 2018 Cup run, lots of ups and downs. They have lots of chemistry. You know, they have that same system. How they just Ovechkin gets in his spot on the power play, Carlson tosses it over. But the core is getting older, so we have to get another cup as soon as possible.
Is this the start of the decline?
Not really. Every year since I've been a Caps fan, they always they haven't let me down yet. Really.
2016,
Well,
2017.
in regards to the regular season, they haven't let me down. Like they've always been up in the Metro standings, like first or second in the Metro standings. They haven't really been in decline. They're still up there.
So I would assume Pittsburgh will be the first team to decline.
Yeah, I would say so because their core is really just Gensel, Crosby, and Malkin. They really don't have anybody else, and you have Letang, but I feel like the Caps have more of a stronger core.
All right, let's get to the Devils now. What does this team have to do to keep up the pace in the Metro? And what does this team have to do to win these important games, especially when you play the Capitals, the Penguins, the Flyers, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Hurricanes? You could even add in the Sabres because, the Devils seem to struggle against the bad teams too. From what I saw last night, it looks like their goaltending is going to be a key factor. What I think is you need a healthy Bernier, a healthy Blackwood, because those two guys are going to be the key. You can't rely on Scott Wedgwood. He's a good third string, but not to win important games.
Well, yeah, when I saw Wedgwood play, I was a bit surprised. If I was Lindy Ruff, I would have started Jonathan Bernier since you're going up a very strong Capitals team. I wouldn't have called Wedgwood. I would have definitely had Bernier play last night and have Wedgwood play the next game against the Sabres.
Which should be a must win for the Devils, but also a win. All right, now let's get to this young core of Darcy Mercer, Alex Holtzes and Utica, Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, Pavel Zacha. But let's get to the one guy that the Devils acquired, Ryan Graves. How important is it to have him on defense this season and for many years to come?
Well, you have to have good defense. Defense wins games. He's not that good of a defenseman. The goal that Kuznetsov scored, I saw the goal Kuznetsov scored last night. Ryan Graves, he had the puck on his stick, but he really couldn't get it out of the crease away from Wedgwood that quick enough where Wilson was able to chip it and Kuznetsov got it and scored. So for him, he really needs to be a lot quicker to get the puck out of the zone and limit the turnovers.
Speaking of turnovers, PK Subban, turnover machine the last few games. How important is it for him to step up his game, step up his career? Because it looks like he's been on the decline since he left Nashville. They had that one run to the Stanley Cup final. But when we look at this team, luckily, they have Cap for Jack Hughes and many other young pieces. But PK Subban has 1 year left. So how important is it for him to have a decent season with the Devils and for other teams to want him next year?
Yeah, it's extremely important because if I'm a GM and I'm looking for a defenseman, I'm looking for good numbers from last season, not even from just like goal scoring and assists. Like if you have a lot of turnovers, I'm not gonna want you.
And he had quite a few the last few games I went to. All right, one last question before we get back to Doug in the studio. Do the Devils surprise a lot of people and make the wild card and clinch a playoff spot?
Yeah, I could see them. I could see that happening. I just don't see them going far in the playoffs. I don't see them being that surprise team where they go off and make it to the Stanley Cup final. Like you had Nashville do it, the Sharks do it. Like I see them being like the Minnesota Wild last year, how they made it to the playoffs. They win 2 games against the Knights, and that was it. But I don't see them. They don't have the team. They don't have that experience to make it to the final.
All right, alongside me, we had James Saravo. Let's send it back to Doug in the studio. Doug, take it away.
All right, thank you, Doug, meaning myself. We are back on the Doug Saravo show, and I am going to pull up the box score from last night's game. Brought to you by ESPN Game Summary. So, the first goal was Anthony Mantha. That was about 4 minutes in. And then 5 minutes later, Dmitry Orlov scored. I think that was a turnover by Subban. Then the second period, Daniel Sprong had a breakaway goal, I believe, and it was 3-0 Washington. Then they made it 4-0. Kuznetsov scored, and then Yanni Kuokkanen 13-19 into the third period. Washington goes to 3-0-1 on the year. They now have 7 points. The Devils are 2-1. They have 4 points. The 3 stars were Kuzi, Orlov, and Daniel Sprong. We trailed in shots by 1. We led in hits. Penalty minutes, we had 8. They had 4. Face-offs, 1. We had a -6. We had 1 power play opportunity. Capitals had 3 power play opportunities. Capitals had the advantage in giveaways. Takeaways, we had the advantage. They had the advantage in block shots. We had 4 penalties to their 2. Shots weren't bad, but at the end of the day, it's the Washington Capitals, and we cannot beat we can't beat the Capitals for whatever it is, and I'm not sure why. That's the I don't get it. I think it's just a bad matchup because we play well against other teams like the Penguins. We play well against the Rangers, the Islanders. I don't know. It's the Washington Capitals, and we struggle mightily against the Washington Capitals. But this is what Lindy Ruff had to say on the loss last night.
They know what I expect, and they should know what they expect out of each other. But if you want to look at the second goal. Bad puck play, bad change, and that led to easy goal for them. You look at the first goal. It's just a simple system play where we have three guys chasing the puck in the corner off a face-off. I'm serious. It looked like a kids' peewee team where they throw the puck in the corner, they all go chase it, and they go the other way. No, and it's really not that funny, but that's what it looked like.
Overall, like I said, overall in the big picture of the game.
And here's Damon Severson.
We didn't win enough battles. We didn't have enough ozone time we needed to, and we skated decently in the second and third, but just in the first, we just kind of came out with not really a full bore, right, I guess, to put it that way.
We didn't win enough battles.
Here's Lindy Ruff again.
We didn't win enough battles. I thought their compete, for the most part, was greater than ours, and we're not going to win games with losing that amount of plays along the walls, plays into the middle of the ice, and that team doesn't need a lot of chances. Like, you give them a good chance, and they'll convert. They're a team that sometimes doesn't create a lot, but when they get them, they finish.
Lindy Ruff did say that in that.
And that was from NewJerseyDevils.com, and he's right. Give the Capitals a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances, and they'll put one home. Same thing, too, when they're on the power play. They find Ovi at the corner or the point or the hash mark, and he scores. I've seen plenty of those. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we get back, I'll give my final thoughts. And I do want to apologize for the interruption on that. I'm not sure if you heard it on Ruff's interview. ESPN had an ad play, and I had no idea till I heard it. So if you're just joining us, thank you for supporting the Doug Saravo Show, Saravo Broadcasting, and all those involved with Saravo Broadcasting. If you want to give us a call, you can call us 732-806-1911 or tweet us at Real Doug Saravo or follow us on all social media, Saravo Broadcasting. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. All right, we're back on the Doug Saravo Show. As always, I'm your host, the real Doug Saravo. That's my social media handle if you want to give me a follow or comment on whatever you want us to talk about. So our next game is tomorrow night against the Buffalo Sabres. And I do have the schedule in front of me. I think we play Calgary. Next Tuesday. I'll be at that game. I don't think these aren't the road games. These are just the home games. So we play Buffalo, then we play Calgary, then we play the Blue Jackets on Halloween, and then the next time we come home is Tuesday, November 9th against the Florida Panthers, who I think could end up being one of those teams that can compete for the Stanley Cup. They have the depth, they have the roster, and they have the coaching staff with Joe Quenneville leading the way. So it's going to be an interesting season. I am not sure how it will go. There's going to be a few ups and downs, a few mistakes, but other than that, I think this young core has a bright future ahead of them, and I truly look forward to see where this New Jersey Devils organization goes to. Hopefully we see a few Stanley Cups. Again, thank you for joining me. I'm Doug Saravo, signing off.